started with jump board today. So one blue and one yellow spring, and you're gonna lay down on your back. So we're gonna warm up with a little bit of footwork just to get those legs and ankles in action. So on your back, bring your feet onto the jump board. So toes at the very top of the board, heels anchored down, and we're just gonna take a couple of presses. The springs are very light, so I want you to press away and feel the heels anchored, feel the balls of the feet anchored, and then really feel like you're pulling back in. Pull the belly button in nice and tight. So springs are pretty floaty here. That means you're creating the resistance, creating the pace, and creating the movement. Hips, same angle as your knees and your toes. So everything, one long line. We're not letting those knees open up. We're not rocking side to side. Two more like this, and then we're gonna add a little bit of ankle mobility. Press belly in, pull back. Press it all the way out here. And I want you to hold, lift it to your toes, and then drop your heels down. So legs are straight without being locked. Lift it to your toes, drop the heels down. 4, heels lower. 3, lower. 2, belly in, hips even. Last one, hold it high on your toes. Pull the abdominals in, slowly bring the carriage in. And when you get to the bottom, drop your heels all the way to the board. You're gonna feel a nice big stretch through the back of the leg. Press away. Lift to your toes. Keep the heels lifted, pull the carriage in. Once we're at the bottom, drop the heels. They may not even touch for your first couple of reps as we start to open up. Lift, knees bend, heels touch. 2 more like this. Press those heels down, lift, knees bend, and drop. Keep the heels anchored. Press, lift, bend, and drop. So from here, we're gonna reverse that. I want you to lift it to your toes right at the bottom here. We press away, little extra squeeze through the back body. When the legs are long, drop your heels. Keep those heels anchored as you pull the carriage back home. Different feeling that sensation through the back of the legs though. Press, drop. Focus on pulling the belly in, keeping that connection to the heels. As you pull it in, try to get that carriage to the stopper without lifting your heels. It may be practice, it may be a challenge, that's cool, but you're starting to notice some stuff about your body. Soften through the ribs. Last one. Press, drop. Now with those heels down, we pull back, lift through the belly. Really nice. Just drape those calf muscles over the top of the jump board. Roll it out a little bit. Awesome. So now I want you to find a wide stance. Toes at the top corners. Knees are in that angle so that the kneecap is kind of right in the same line of that third toe. Just a slight turnout. So we never want the toes pointing out to the sides of the room. Think big toes toward the top corners. So we're gonna start just a couple of presses. Zip up through the inner thighs, lift through the belly, bend the knees, bring it back. Press away. So you wanna think about that heavy foot again. Heavy through the heel, heavy through the balls of the feet, that little lift in your arch before we start to articulate. Press, pull back. Awesome. 4, heavy through the heel. So you're recruiting all of those muscles here. We're not letting those springs really do any work. Bring it back, hip bones even, belly in. Last 2. Bring it home. Last one, press it out. Lift to your toes. Drop the heels. So we take that little calf raise with that slight external rotation and drop. Lift and lower. 3 more. Lift and lower. It's okay if your ankles are cracking. Mine are too. Tuck that chin a little bit. We're all starting to lift those chins. Last one, hold it up. So from that high heel position, we're gonna bend the knees, bring the carriage in. Drop the heels at the bottom, press away. So starting to feel a little more open. Always feels better with that slight external rotation. Lower, drop the heels, pull the belly in, connect those heels right to those low abdominals. Lift up, knees bend, heels drop, and press. Awesome work. Bring it down, lower the heels, press. And let's hold it at the bottom. Bring it down and lower. All right, so this time, lift through the heels. We press away. Drop at the bottom. Pull back. You get a much deeper connection to the outer thigh, to the back of the legs, to those hamstrings. Press, lower, pull back in. 4 more. Lift, press, just warming ourselves up. Really noticing what's happening as we roll through the arch of the foot. This is really the same type of articulation we use in our jumps. Beautiful, pull it back home. Last one, lift, press, lower, and pull. Bring it in. Walk your feet to the top of the board again. Keep them wide. Let's just take a little rock over to the right, warming up through the hips. Little rock over to the left. Remember, all those little pops and cracks are okay. Bring it back in. All right, last one. Heels together, toes apart. We want those toes pretty close to the top of the jump board. This is going to be the hardest position to get your heels to anchor down to that boarding. So I want you to just feel that sensation of pushing through the heels, little teeny tuck in the tailbone just to feel your belly pulling in, but not enough to flatten that low back to the mat. We press, zip up through center, bend the knees, pull back. So really, really noticing your own connection to that jump board, where your heels are getting stuck, where they want to lift up a little bit. Keeping your knees in that closed position at the top, knees squeezed together. But on the bottom, we only let the knees open about as wide as your shoulders. Last 2. Finding that place where your heels connect, really finding that connection to the jump board when we jump as well. So I'm going to call back to this work through a lot of our class today. Last one, I want you to press it up to the top. With those heels together, squeezing them together like you're holding onto a little piece of paper and you don't want to drop it. Lift to your toes. Spiral the inner thighs up and in. Drop your heels down. Good. Soften through the ribs. I always like to bring my hand to the middle of my body, to the ribs, to the low belly, just for a little bit of awareness. We lift for 2. Keep those heels pushing together. Lift for 1. Stay high on your toes. We bend the knees. Bring the carriage down. Lower those heels. This is the tough one. This is that stretch where we're all super tight. Don't let the heels separate. Lift to the toes at the top. Bend the knees. Same opening with the knees. Drop the heels down. Push through the heels. Find that drive. You're going to feel a nice deep sensation in the low belly. Up. Knees bend. Drop. 2 more. Press. So as this gets tough, we start to pop up through the ribs. Anchor through the back ribs. Drop those heels. Last one. Up. Out. Heels down. And pull the carriage home. Good, good. So lift it up to your toes. Press away. We reverse that movement. One final time. Really feel that pull with the heels down. Lift. Press. Zip up. Everything tight. Heels to belly button. Lower. Keep those heels down, down, down. You're almost there. Last 3. Make sure if you did this the other way first that you're just reversing that pull home, whether you're high on your toes or with your heels down, practicing that articulation, feeling the connection of our legs to the low belly. Lift, press, down, and down. Bring it in. Grab behind your thighs, just take a little rock to release that low back. Lots of connection with no springs, not no springs, but light springs there. So let's warm up the upper body before we take it into our first set of jumps. I want you to reach behind you and grab your short straps in your hands. Sending your fingertips straight up to the ceiling and then floating your knees up to table one at a time. Making sure those thumbs are lined up with your armpits. We're just gonna move the arms today, so no spinal flexion in this series, just some arm work. We're gonna exhale, press the palms down to the mat. Inhale, float your fingertips up to the ceiling. So we've got 6 of these. Press, rise up. As you press down, I want you to focus on your rib cage. Feeling those bottom ribs drawing in, creating that little corset right around your torso. Beautiful. Last 3. And up. Anchor down through the tail, belly in, 2. And up. Last one, press, hold the palms, hovering over the mat. And we're gonna take this into a little bit of tricep work. So what I want you to do is keep your palms facing the floor. Bend the elbows wide and think about just sliding your thumbs right up the side of your body. Not to the point where the shoulders come up to the ears, and on your exhale, we're gonna push the fingertips down to the jump board. So palms are facing the floor the whole time. Elbows are coming out wide. Press the palms as you zip up through the belly. Beautiful. Awesome work, guys. Slide the elbows out. Push the palms down. Nice job. Last 2. Last 1. Hold it here. Beautiful work. We're going to finish this up. Turning your palms in to face the body with that T-press. Arms open. Thumbs to the ceiling, pinkies to the floor. Press your palms in toward your outer thighs. Sliding those arms on that same line. Think about making a snow angel. So now we're activating the lats. You're feeling those armpits hollow out. You're feeling your shoulder blades retract down the back, squeezing through the lats, engaging the pecs a little bit. Excellent job. Reaching through that pinky finger. Get that little extra spiral through the back of the arms. Last one. Bring it in. And release. Take the long loops, hang them up behind you. And now that we've got a little bit of heat in our body, let's take it into some jumps. So we'll start with our straight leg jumps, and we're going to focus on the core here. So springs are fairly light. We're going to bring the legs together. So legs are squeezing, knees, ankles, inner thighs touching, toes at the top of the board. If you want this, we're going to bring the arms to our sides, lifting through the head, neck, and shoulders, coming into that spinal flexion. We're going to hold that flexion as we jump away. Point your toes, light landing, toe, ball, heel. So this is a good one to really practice when you've got that reformer in your house. Just take a couple of these jumps and practice that articulated landing. Toe, ball, heel. Get those heels to touch. Feel that little bit of power you get. All the work is happening when we're floating in the air. So I want you to really think about pulling the legs together, pulling the belly button up and in, and reaching long through the fingertips. If you're not in that little crunch, don't worry about it. Bring your head down. Lift your legs a little bit higher just to protect the low back. Take a look at your toes here. You want your toes to come up a few inches above the board. Not really a leg lift, but just an insurance policy that they're not dropping to the springs. Stay with me. You've got 10 more seconds here. Pull in through the belly. You want that core to feel a little shaky. 3, 2, and 1. Relax for a second. You can walk your feet wide. Rock them side to side. Little bit more core work coming up here. So let's take ourselves back to that parallel position. And we're gonna float the right knee to tabletop. If you want it, we're gonna peel up through the head, neck, and shoulders here. We're gonna jump away with the left leg. Right leg holds, knee over your hip. If you're in that crunch, you're looking at your belly button. Excellent. We've got 15 seconds like this before we add on. The way that we're gonna add on is bringing the left hand just behind the head and adding an oblique crunch at the top of the jump. You've got 3, 2, 1. If you want it, add it on. Shoulder to knee and down. Beautiful. 3, 4. You got it. We're going to 10. 5. You can just keep jumping without that crunch. 6. Beautiful job. 9 and 10. Bring it in, bring it down, rock it out. Beautiful work. We're going to take that right to the other side. So find your parallel feet. Float your left leg, arms at your sides. If you want it, we float up through the head, neck, and shoulders, finding that little bit of spinal flexion. Jump away, point through the right toes. So it's a 20-second set of jumps here. Now we're going to take the right hand behind the head and take that crunch for 10 reps. You're on it. 10 more seconds to jump. Pull in through the belly. This is all core. Right hand behind the head. 3, 2, 1. We jump, we crunch. 1. Use that exhale. Both shoulders off the mat. Only an option here, otherwise you just keep jumping on that right leg. Nice and steady through center. 9 and 10. Bring it in, bring it down, and rest. Beautiful work, guys. Roll the shoulders down and back. You can rest, you can rock. Nice work on that single leg jumping. Walk your feet wide. Last set of jumps for your core today. But we're not done yet. Toes to the corners. Wide stance, just like where we started. And remember, arms at your sides. Coming into that crunch is optional. Let's just start with a jump. Point your toes. I want you to think of those legs as 2 arrows just shooting out of your hip bones. We're aiming our big toe to the top corner. All right. Stay with me. 15 seconds before we add on. We're just going to take 2 taps of the heels in the air, land wide. We'll add on those taps in 5. So good. 4, 3, 2, jump, tap, tap, and down. We're going to tap for 30 seconds, and then we're going to bring it up off of our backs. Done with this little core set. Beautiful. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, halfway there, 15 to go. You can do this. Focus on the middle of your body, head down if you needed to. Legs are strong the whole time. Hang on to it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Take a hug. Take a rock. Do something that makes you feel good. Nice. Let's bring it up. Nice work, guys. We're going to drop a little bit of spring load. Grab some water if you need it. Take your yellow off so we have 1 blue spring on. 1 blue, yellow comes off. Then you're going to meet me in a cross-legged seat facing the side of the room. So scoot your butt all the way to the edge of the carriage. I've got my left leg toward the jump board, so think about that left butt cheek almost hanging off the edge like a 1/2 inch. reach and grab the strap that's behind you. So not the one that's right in front, grab the back strap. We're gonna start with the short loop in our hand, and our arm is reaching long, so fingertips toward the back of the reformer. Square your hips, anchor your sit bones, and lift the belly. As slow as you can, we're gonna take this into a side-facing bicep curl. So think about sending your fingertips right through the back posts on the reformer, and then the fingertips are going to aim toward your ears. So the one thing that we try to do, especially if this one feels light for you, is that we start to lift the elbow. And I want you to really imagine that elbow resting on a shelf, and we are really isolating those biceps. Pull the belly button in. I want you to knit the ribs together as you curl. Hang on to it. So you're feeling that back engage as well, creating that support system, wrapping through the ribs in the front, engaging the lats in the back to keep that lateral position. Starting to find that little burn. You've got 3 more reps here. So good. 2. Last one. Just a little hold for me. Sit up a little taller. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax that arm. Roll the shoulder out. So now we're going to take our whole arm and slide it through the short strap. So you've got that short strap right in the crease of your elbow. We're going to take the hands lightly behind the head. Sit up as tall as you can. If this starts to feel heavy, the trick is to scoot back toward your shoulder blocks. So hands lightly behind the head. Sit up tall. Imagine your back pressing against a wall, your belly pulling in. We're just going to dip to the right side, dip to the left side, elbow into the well, and then zip up through center. So you may be on a different side from me, that's okay. So elbow to the well. I want you to exhale as you come up. Resist that spring. So we get a little crunch on the left and work on the right. Relax the neck. Relax the shoulders. We don't have a huge set here. I'm looking for 4 more. We tip, belly in, ribs in. Slide that back across your imaginary wall. Let's squeeze for 3. And back, nice and strong, guys. 2. Last one. Bring it up and roll it out. So we're going to cross, we're going to rest our forearms right on top of each other. Arm with the strap, we'll take it on the bottom. We're going to go into a small set of rotation. So keeping those hands in front of the chest, we twist from the waist up and back. So just a little spring resistance. You can go to your long loop. You can walk your hips toward those shoulder blocks if you need a little less. Think about that rib cage just rotating around your spine. You've only got 3 more here. That right shoulder's burning. It's a good thing we're gonna move to the left. 2. Feel those obliques engage. Last one, little hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's release it. Hang up your long loop. So you've got an option here. You can stay in a cross-legged seat. We're gonna go into some jumps with that arm closest to the jump board. Your other option for your seat here is to swing it into your mermaid. So bring that leg that's closest to your shoulder blocks, bring the shin parallel to the blocks, cross that knee in front. So I've got my left knee up to the front corner, my right leg just across the blocks. Or you can stay in that cross-legged seat, but just remember, you want that butt cheek that's closest to the edge as close as you can get it. So we're gonna take our left hand to the board. Fingertips facing up to the ceiling, and your elbow is real close to the body. So you wanna start with a super significant bend in your elbow. If the elbow is not bent, that butt goes toward the edge. Sit up nice and tall, and when you're ready, we're gonna jump away, flick through those fingertips. Jump, allow your elbow to bend. So instead of locking out and trying to catch yourself, if you kind of see what my shoulder's doing there, you wanna soften, just like with your feet, we roll to the heel of the hand and tuck the elbow into the rib cage. Jump away, flick through the fingertips, brace through the core. So you also notice my torso is really not shifting forward and back. I'm not leaning into it. I'm taking the brunt of that landing with the softening of my elbow. Starting to burn out here, flex that tricep, reach your fingertips, aiming them at the spot where they're gonna land. You got 4, beautiful. 3, sit up a little taller, core tight, that's the key. 2, last 1, bring it back, and roll the shoulders. You're gonna take your left hand to the back corner of the board, and that right hand to the front corner. So we're in a little bit of a rotation, and then what I want you to do is press away like we're going into that mermaid. You have the opportunity to wrap your hands around that jump board, so think about pulling with the right arm and pushing with the left as we twist our torso down toward the floor. With those arms straight, I want you to pull your chest back to the board. And then exhale, scoop the belly a little bit more, fold over. Just 2 more like this, a little bit of recovery. You can always adjust your legs if you need to. Gaze follows with that spine. Let's press it down one last time and hold. Pull back with the right, push with the left. Right armpit toward the floor for 3. Spiral it out here. 2 and 1. Bring it up. And swing it around. So before we go to the other side, we're just going to take it into a quick set of abdominal work, a little bit of arms. You're going to walk your knees up against your shoulder blocks. So with your knees right under your hips, we're going to reach down and bring the hands to the white railings. Walking your hands about 1 inch or 2 in front of your shoulders. And then we're going to pull the carriage up so the shoulders are right over the wrists. Once you're here, push into your palms, pull the ribs in. Upper body is not going to move from this point forward. Taking into that abdominal crunch. Exhale. Tuck the tailbone, scoop the belly, round the spine, look through the blocks. Inhale, release, without letting those arms change position. So the way I keep my arms in place here is I like to push up into the palms or push down onto those railings and deepen the crunch through the low belly. So you want to think still that rib to hip connection, that belly up and in, rounding your spine, looking through the legs, and lengthening. So good. And back, you're almost there. Lead with the belly, not with the legs. So let the quads relax as you lift that navel up and in. Feel that spot below your belly button. We're going to bring it in and hold. Next one. Push those railings down as you drop your head. Belly in as tight as it can be. Drive the carriage in another 1/2 inch. Hang on to it. You got 3, 2, and 1. Walk it back. Sit it into your child's pose. And then slowly come on up. So I'm going to turn my back to you guys. We're going to go into that side-facing work on the other side. So remember, cross-legged seat to get started. You're going to bring your butt real close to the edge and sit up tall. Once you're here, once you find that seat, we reach down and grab the back strap. Bringing it into the hand, reaching your fingertips right through those back railings, and just sit up as tall as you can. Lengthen through that arm. On your exhale, we take it into that lateral bicep curl. Inhale as you lengthen. So left shoulder stays down. You've got the ribs wrapping around through the front. Lats engaged in the back. You leave your palm open. Think about aiming your fingertips through the back posts and then fingertips right to your ear. Lengthen and curl. So take a look over at that arm. Notice if you're trying to get more out of it by lifting that arm. Think about pushing your arm down so that it's anchored onto an imaginary shelf. Really isolating that bicep, getting a little bit of shoulder work, a little bit of rotator work. Sit up tall, belly in. You want that core to fire right before those arms every time. Last 4. Super strong. Curl it up. 3. Whole body is engaged here. 2. Last 1. Give me a nice big hold. Curl it up. Pause. Keep that elbow reaching toward the side of the room. 3, 2, and 1. Relax the shoulder. And then we slide the arm into the short strap, letting it hang out in that elbow crease. So if this feels heavy, remember you can always scoot your butt a little bit closer to your blocks. Hands lightly behind your head. Back is up against that imaginary wall. We inhale, drop the elbow into the springs. Exhale, use those left side obliques to pull you up. So we're working in both directions here. I'm just directing your breath to inhale as you reach down, exhale as you rise up. Notice that my arms are just traveling in line. Those arms aren't doing any extra pulling. Neither are my neck and shoulders. So if you find that you're twisting around here, keep it lateral. That back strap really helps us keep it lateral rather than taking the front one. You've got 3. Squeeze, work on the way up. Don't let that left butt cheek pop up. 2. Think about every little piece of this movement. Last 1. Bring it up and roll it out. Long loop is another option if this feels heavy. And now let's take that left arm underneath, right arm stacks on top. So you've got those parallel lines. You want to think fingertips in line with your elbows. Shoulders drop. We rotate. Exhale. Inhale back through center. So you want to think about that tailbone anchoring, that belly pulling in, and that rotation happening from the belly button up. We're cutting off our range of motion a lot here, so it's just a deep squeeze in that right side waist. Find your control. Feel that little squeeze at the edge. Shoulders starting to burn, that's okay. You can always lower the level of your arms. You got 2 more here. And in. Last one, little hold for me. 5, squeeze. 4, shoulders drop. 3, belly in. 2, and 1. Unwind. Slide that strap off. Hang it up. So you can stay in your cross-legged seat and just scoot your butt to the edge, or we scoot our butt to the edge anyway. Take the left leg behind us, right leg crossing in front, finding that mermaid seat. Just an option, not easier, harder, right or wrong, just an option. So, right fingertips come to the center of the board. With that back nice and flat, I want you to come into a starting position where your elbow is super close to that torso. We're going to inhale to prepare, lift up, exhale, pull the belly in, jump away, flick through the fingertips. And back. So remember, if that carriage is crashing a lot, scoot your butt over a little bit more, and then we want to articulate through that hand. Let the elbow come into the rib cage to absorb the landing, rather than cutting it off with the hand and tweaking out through the shoulder. Sit up tall. Roll through that hand, articulate. Should feel like a nice big stretch through that wrist. You're starting to lean off of that left hip and you're in your mermaid. Sit it up a little bit taller. Active through the lats. Soften that elbow, press, flick the fingertips, flex your triceps. I know those arms are tired. Really keep that torso shift out of it. Reach. Nice work. So good. Last 4. 3. Ooh, there we go. 2. And 1. Bring it in. Roll it out. Then we're going to take that right hand that was jumping back to that back corner. Left hand comes to the front. I just want you to find your twist. A little pull with the left, a little push with the right until you can get those arms straight. And then we start that hinge. Belly in, press down. And then keep that little bit of push-pull tension, that little bit of traction in the arms. Rise up. So shoulders stay down and back. Range of motion is up to you. One side is always going to feel different. So just allow your body to adjust with that in mind. I needed to walk my hands a little bit wider on this one, for example. Let's press down one more time and hold. Pushing that left armpit down to the floor, plugging that right shoulder in. 3, 2, and 1. Rise up. Roll it out. So good. Take a second, whatever you need, grab some water. We're going to find another spring change here. Let's go to 1 red and 1 yellow. So we're going to revisit some of those jump positions that we used in the beginning of class. This time our head is going to stay down. So if you need to, you can always lift your headrest up. It's that little ball on top of the lever. You're going to pull it down and then lift the headrest up if you need it. Otherwise, we lay on our back. And now we're going to jump a little bit more for pace, a little bit more for legs, at a little bit more of an interval pace. So, we'll start with that straight leg jump. Toes to the top of the board, legs squeezed together. Head is down, arms are pressing down at your sides, and we're going to jump for 30 seconds. So when you're ready, big inhale to prepare. Exhale, jump away, point through your toes. A little bit of a quicker pace here. Don't lose that articulation through your feet. Toe ball, heel, push through the heels. Toe ball, heel, find your cadence. Legs are going to lift 1 or 2 inches above that board just to protect the low back. Pull in through the low belly, so don't lose that core connection. Long through the arms, little tuck in that chin. Stay with me here. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. We're going to change our feet. Toes to the corners. We jump again in 10 seconds. Wide position, don't lose that landing. 3, 2, and go. 30 seconds. Head down, anchor through the back of the shoulders, anchor through the back of the ribs, strong through the legs here, lifting through the quads, feeling the inner thighs rolling up and in, little squeeze in the glutes at the top. Give yourself some pace. Try to find that light landing. You're halfway there. Push through the heels. So good. Hang on to it. Last 5. Core tight. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Heels together. Toes apart. Focusing on those legs. You're going to jump again in 5, 4, 3, 2. Don't let those heels separate. Jump away. Zip up through your inner thighs. Excellent. So remember the beginning of your class. Those heels don't want to touch. You've got to get to that point where you allow the knees to bend, allow the heels to release. Beautiful. Jump and jump. Almost there. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Rest your feet at the top. We're gonna take a longer break. Then we're gonna do that whole set one more time. We'll go together, we'll go wide, we'll go V, and we're gonna add 15 seconds to each set. All right, you've got another 10 seconds to rest here. Set your feet up. We're really working to pull that heart rate up and down. Toes at the top, legs together. We jump in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 45 seconds this time. Jump. So think about every little thing that's happening. Low belly lifts when you exhale. Glutes pull up and in a little bit when you exhale. Inner thighs squeeze. Point through those toes, lift through the quads, active legs in the air. Find your power from your heels. Give your knees permission to bend. Maybe your practice is softening your landing. Big exhale on the way up. If you find that you're sliding up, you can always scoot down. Hold on to the bottom edge of the reformer. Just watch your fingers. 10 seconds, guys. Come on. Belly in, ribs in. We rest in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Setting yourself up. Toes at those top corners. Little turnout. You're back on. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Quickie intervals. For this round, we're going 45 seconds of jumps, 15 seconds of rest. First round, we did 30 and 10. Point your toes. Point your toes. Find that spot where you landed. Aim it right there. So good. Second round always goes the fastest. Almost done. 10 seconds here. Make them strong, make them count. You activate those legs. 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring them in. Shake them out. 15 seconds to rest. Last round here on those legs. Heels together. Toes apart. We jump in 3, 2, and 1. Heels in, toes out, squeeze. Remember that little push together of your heels. We're not just letting them float next to each other. We're pushing them into each other. Maybe that piece of paper you're holding, it's more like a $100 bill. We don't want to drop it. Squeeze. Belly in, inner thighs squeezing, glutes engaging. Point those toes in the air. Activate your legs. You got it. Pull in through center. Almost there, team. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little rest here. I'm going to go into a butterfly. Soles of my feet are together. Outside edges of the feet pressing into the top of the board. Knees fall wide. You can even let your arms fall a little bit wider out to the sides. Nice big inhales, big exhales. All right. So our final set of work before we start stretching a bit, we're gonna do some single leg work, starting with alternating. I'm gonna take it into little holds, but still working on a time interval. So feet walk out to about hip width apart. Let's float the right leg to table. So I'll just do a little demo here for your jumps. We're gonna switch legs each time. So it's like a little dance. We jump, switch, jump, switch. You wanna get a good push off the board. So you've got a lot of time to switch in the air. When you're ready, you guys join me. Jump, switch, jump, switch, jump, switch, jump, switch. You can always take a peek up to see where your feet are landing But then I really want you to keep your head down with that heavy spring load. Jump, switch, and switch. Switch, and switch. In 15 seconds, we're gonna hold and just jump on that right leg. Left knee to table, we jump right in 5, 4, 3, 2, left leg holds, right leg jumps. Make sure those hips are even. Nice place for your hands is on that low belly. Really nice. Stay with me. This is your finisher. Everything connecting. Inner thighs pulling up and in. Glutes are engaged. Everything is even though you're creating some instability. We're going to go back to that alternating jump in 3, 2, 1. Jump, switch. Jump, switch. Good. So almost like you're jogging it out, bringing that balance back to your hips, feeling the low belly. Lift up and in. Jump, switch. Jump, switch. Jump, switch. And switch. We're going to jump on the left leg. Hold that right leg in table. In 3, 2, and 1. Land on the left. Hold the right. Even through the belly. Strong through that leg. Big point in your toes. Nice heavy heel to land. Heavy heel for power. Beautiful job. This is where you're starting to burn out. Stay strong in the middle. That's going to help you. Shorter jumps if you need a little less. You can always bring it into a press. One more time, alternating in 3, 2, jump, switch, jump, switch. Awesome. Switch. And switch, finish it strong. You've got 15 seconds here. We take it up and stretch. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. One last time here. Let those legs fall out to your butterfly. You can always let the legs extend all the way up and over the jump board, turning your toes out, maybe rolling across those calves. Awesome. So we're carefully going to bring it up. Let's step off to the left side. So step to your left wherever that leaves you. And we'll take the yellow spring off so we're down to 1 red. All right, hope everybody's feeling really good from those jumps. Left toes are gonna line up right underneath the foot bar. And your right knee comes down to the carriage. Your foot presses up against that block. Hands are on the jump board. We're gonna take it into that psoas stretch, so that little hip flexor stretch here. I want you to keep your chest lifted. Send the right leg behind you as you create a deep bend in the left knee. And then inhale, rise up. So we're gonna keep it dynamic. You're going for 4 more here. Rise up. Feel that pull up through the center of the body. Keeping that chest lifted, but your shoulders down. Last 2. On your last one, I want you to lower down. Keep your chest up. Lift your right arm off the board. It's almost like you're pushing into the left hand. And take a look up. Deepen that stretch. Inhale. Exhale. I want you to open your torso to the right. Circle that arm around. And bring it back to the board. One more time here. Lift up. Shoulders down. Reach through the right heel. Strong through the left heel. Push back up. Open around and down. Hand to the bar. Now, fold your chest over. And maybe start to straighten your left leg. So we're still driving through the right heel. Maybe you lift those left toes, but you feel that stretch through the back of your body. The jump board is nice here because it's almost like you can push away from it. 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee, drive the carriage in, rise up. And we'll just take a quick turn to face your reformer. Left toes are now underneath the railing. Right foot is flat. Press the right leg out. And then keeping your left hand on the jump board to set up, I just want you to hinge forward. So your torso is parallel to the floor. Right hand comes to the carriage. Left hand can drop down to the railing. And then we press away. Exhale, breathing into your inner thighs. Inhale, pull back in. So just releasing some of that heavier jump work we just did. Exhale on the way out. Inhale, pull back in. Last one, hold this. You want to think about your chest being parallel to the floor. Like if your body was a board just resting across those railings. You've got 3. Maybe press a little bit deeper. 2. And 1. Lift the belly. Bring it up. Awesome. Let's pop a blue spring on with that red and come up to standing. Feet are flat. Walk your heels all the way up against the shoulder blocks. Bring your hands just to the top of the jump board. And then without moving the carriage, just press your chest down. Find that down dog stretch. So you want to feel those arms relaxing rather than tensing up. We're not moving that carriage, so it's almost just like your hands are draped on top of that board. As you push down into your heels, I want you to lift your tailbone up a bit. Press your chest to your thighs. The only place that it should be easy to look is right at your own toes or through those shoulder blocks. Awesome. If you want a little bit more, push your heels back behind you for that elephant. Deepening that hamstring stretch, not moving your upper body. And then on your exhale, scoop through the belly. Drive that carriage in with just some core strength. Press away. Keep those heels down. Keep that upper body relaxed. Drag your heels in. So the key to this one is really getting that deep diagonal in your torso. Long line sloping down from your tailbone through the top of your head. 2 more. Press. And then on the way in, we deepen that hamstring stretch and deepen that core connection, lifting that belly. Last one. Press it out. Zip up through the belly, pull back in. Excellent. Keep your hands on the board, little step forward. We're gonna step down to the right and take our blue spring off. Right toes underneath that foot bar base. Left knee down, hips are square. Left foot pressing up against the block. We start with our stoas stretch. Jump board keeps that torso nice and lifted. Lower down. Think about reaching through that back heel. Nice big stretch in the quad, lift the belly. So at the very lowest part of your lunge, your front knee stays behind those toes. So we're in that right angle bend. We also feel our hips squaring up. That big stretch all the way from the knee right up to your armpit. Opening up through the center of your body. So I know this feels good and we want to fold over the leg right away. But I want you to have that sense of lift. Awesome work. Let's do 3 more. And up. 2. And up. Last one, we're going to hold it. So pause, pushing through both heels, really finding that extension through the back of the leg. I'm going to lift the left arm up. So almost like you're pushing away with the right. I want you to lift, reach to the ceiling. Feel how that stretch through the left front side of your body feels. Big inhale. Exhale, eyes on your hand as we circle around. And bring it back to the board one more time. Lift up. Reach through that back heel, strong through the torso. Once you find that lift that feels good, out, around and back. Once you get that hand back on, now we fold. Lift through the heel. I love having the jump board here to just feel like I'm pushing away from it. Creating space, creating length is the goal. My left hip is starting to twist around, so I want to square off my hips, aim them down to the floor, maybe lifting those right toes off the floor. Hang with me here. You've got 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, rise up. Just a little twist to face your reformer. So toes are parallel, right toes are underneath the railing, left foot is flat up against your block. Press the left leg out, right hand stays on the board just for a moment. I want you to square your hips, hinge the torso forward and let the left hand just drop down underneath the left shoulder. And as you press out, you're welcome to bring that right hand to the railing. Soften your elbows. Imagine that torso, just one flat board. And as you lower down, like that board is just resting across your railings. If you start to see a diagonal in those arms, it means you're shifting your hips back. Think about peeling the legs apart, pushing into the pinky side edge of your foot. Rise up. And let's hold the next one. Lifted through the belly, lengthening through the outside of the legs, lifting through the inside of the legs, lifting your belly button to that spine. 3, 2, 1. Start to bring it in. Step both feet to the floor and just turn to face your jump board. We're standing on the floor here. Soften your knees, toes point forward. Let your arms just hang at your sides. I want you to tuck your chin. Big inhale. Exhale as we slowly start to tuck the ribs and roll down to the floor. Once we're at the bottom, you can let your arms hang, you can grab your elbows, but I want you to feel the top of your head reaching down to the floor. Shoulders lengthening, keeping your knees soft, and then finding those heavy points of your feet, balls of the feet and heels, lifting through those arches. And just take that little sway side to side. Let that head hang, tuck your chin. There's nothing to look at, nothing to see. Just look right between those ankles. 3, 2, and 1. Release your hands, tuck your chin. Start that exhale as you roll it up, bone by bone. Big shoulder roll at the top. You guys are all done. Really nice job today. Well,